Okay. Is everything there? Do we have a picture? Do we have sound? Okay, okay. I can't apologize enough, so I'm just going to stop apologizing about the first couple innings here. I really should have spent last night dealing with this instead of fishing for bass, but the fishing got the better of me, and I came here just expecting to be able to plug and play, but as usual, couldn't figure it out. At any rate, I think I'm back on my phone. I'm a little more comfortable with this. I think we're okay. So I'm gonna figure out exactly what the situation is. Give me 1 minute. Hey, nice hit, Bush. Nice hit, buddy. What's the score? Where are we at now? Does anybody know? 1-0. And what inning are we in, Pat? Bottom four, 1-0, right?
Bottom of 4.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay, so the score is 1-0. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Lakeville is up. Got Matt Grill on the mound. We're not sure who's throwing for them. Them being Lakeville. It's not Meyer. It's not Matt Meyer. It might be a different Meyer. So we're gonna figure that out. There's a ground ball. Brian Durant at first base. Fumbles it, picks it up, throws to Grilly at first. 1 out. Pretty quiet so far for the Mammoth Bats. Bushy had an infield single. Yes.
I misread his number. I had 2 down there. He's 12.
Gotcha.
Not
No worries.
him. I'm sorry. Who am I talking about?
Catcher.
Allsted. I guess I got it right.
Okay.
Forget I was
Okay.
even
No
over
worries.
here.
If you're wrong and you find out later, just give me a holler. No worries. That was Louis, manager of Lakeville. Yep, 1-0 Lakeville. Bottom of the 4th inning. Lakeville scored, I believe, on a Jamie Steinberg double. Kind of a ground ball down the line. I think he moved to third on some kind of infield play, and then I think he scored on maybe a single. I was really busy with this one. You need to know it's 1-0. Bottom of 4th, Matt Grill on the mound. Lakeville is our opponent in Game 1 of this tournament. This year, the Mammoth are playing in the Mountain Division, as opposed to the Cactus Division, which we won last year. Difference between Mountain and Cactus is the Mountain Division allows ex-pros. So we have none on our roster. It's a nice pitch off the plate, strike 3. So there's been some consternation on the part of the batters about the strike zone. Apparently, it's pretty wide. Both Casaza and Lippert struck out in the first inning, and neither were happy with the strike 3 calls. I believe they were both taken. You'd think that would benefit Matt Grill, though, once Matt figures that out. Figures out the zone. I believe this is Jamie Steinberg. Talking to Casey last night, Jamie on Lakeville is one guy who, at least in my experience, has hit Matt Grill pretty well. In fact, he was involved in the Lakeville's run. He hit a double in his first at-bat, so Jamie seems pretty comfortable. The chopper, Baltimore chop. Really catch throw. That's 3. So we moved to the top of the 5th already. Scores 1-0 Lakeville.
Minutes, boys.
I'm going to try to find out who the pitcher for the Lakeville is. Hold on. I'm going to walk into the dugout and see if we figured that out. Hey, Case, do we know who's pitching for Lakeville?
Yeah, I just asked Tori. That's Dave Meyer
Okay, that's Dave Meyer on the
from
line.
River Falls, I believe. Or is it the other one?
Dave Meyer is pitching. The other Meyer from the Federal League.
We know what to do, guys.
I heard somebody say, there's Matt Meyer. In fact, I see him over there, 99, waving his arm around. I suspect we're going to see a little Matt Meyer sooner rather than later. We heard through the grapevine that Matt Meyer is leaving the tournament early. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it's true, certainly they're not going to let that. They have no reason to save that arm. So I see him walking out towards the dugout now. You can probably see it in the background. It's like they're getting him ready to come in. It's a pretty good 1-2 punch. The two Meyers, Dave Meyer and Matt Meyer. Mammoth haven't faced Dave Meyer, but it's a name that we've heard. I think Lakeville came down here with a really good starting pitching rotation. In addition to the Myers, they have Erdahl, another name that I've heard. I'm not familiar with him, but people say he's very good. So,
Did you have a plan for Matt already?
yeah, I told Matt he's going to bat for.
Hey, get us going, Scotty. Come on, Scotty, let's go,
Brian,
baby.
if I switch him to hitting for me, Brian had a better at bat than I can.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you're the man here.
I know, but I don't want to.
I got you.
You're a little bit less.
That was Matt Grill. Scott Sievert. Scott's batting cleanup. So a little bit about our lineup today. We have guys flying in this morning. There's a shot to the left side. Jamie Fields throws off the bag. Out on the tag, one out. At some point, I'll try to work on the angle here, but just trying to settle into the stream. We have a number of guys flying in this morning. So this Mammoth lineup, it's not our playoff lineup. I mean, we have a deep roster, so we have talent to plug in for the guys who are on the plane, but I think it's safe to say that a couple of the guys we're waiting on would be in this lineup if they were here. That's a hit by pitch. Some kind of off-speed pitch. Here's Nate Jackson. Nate just flew in. He just arrived about 20 minutes ago. We're
You guys know
What's
Come on, Nate.
pinch hitting him.
so just an ask,
Hey, be
what's your
aggressive up there.
Twitch name?
It's indoor baseball experience.
Indoor baseball experience.
Yes.
Christina loves your stream.
Okay, well, I'm glad she wasn't around for the first half of it because there was a lot of swear words.
Indoor, a lot of swear words from
she
me.
might be used to that. From
Gotcha.
Me.
Oh yeah.
From me.
I was
I
gonna say like,
the stream to work.
I get speaking, you know, that way sometimes. And, I don't realize I'm doing it sometimes.
Right.
It's good though. It's just colorful. It's, you know, exclamation marks.
Well, especially out here, it's just part of the pattern, right?
Yeah.
The shit. That was Brian Bushman.
Back! Get back there. Hey, get down, Bill. Wake up a little bit.
Billy nearly picked off first base. So I was talking about how we've got guys on the plane coming in. This lineup is a little thin, I would say, at least relative to what a playoff lineup would look like. Nate Jackson just got off the plane, got in the dugout, now he's in the lineup. Nate'll be a middle of the order presence for us throughout this tournament. Nate doesn't play with the team in the summer, but he traveled with us last year down here when the Mammoth won the Cactus Division. This year we're in the Mountain Division, a division up. So Nate was a big part of that team. It's great to have him back. It's a high fastball.
Hey, way to get loose. Way to get loose. Let's go.
You heard Diamond say, way to get loose, I think. You know, sitting in those coach seats and then getting in here and trying to hit this fastball. Not ideal. This could be a double play. Stays down, second, Torrey to first, that's double play. So obviously every inning that goes by where we don't score, it's an inning we draw closer to Matt Meyer. Matt Meyer's warming up very slowly on the first baseline. Maybe not next inning, but I would expect they might ride Dave Meyer until they feel like he's in trouble. Save Matt. They've got a game immediately after this. Our schedule is we play now. We've got a 3-hour break and then we play again. So I think our plan is probably just to stick around. Maybe we'll stream it. I don't know. I mean, Lakeville's playing the team that we're going to end up playing. I got nothing going on. Maybe, I don't know that people who are watching this to watch their favorite Mammoth care about Lakeville and this other team, but we'll see. There was some discussion in the hot tub last night about whether we would want to start Matt Grill. Our assumption was that we were going to see Matt Meyer. Our second assumption was that Meyer at 100% is probably going to beat us. I don't know. I don't know how many times out of 100, but Meyer at 100% is something we haven't seen yet. And the Meyer that we saw when we beat him in the playoffs wasn't 100%. He still dominated a lot of our hitters. So Casey and I were discussing whether, you know, we burn 9 innings of Matt Grill against a guy like Matt Meyer. Do we save Matt Grill maybe for game 2? But I think Matt and Nate Stark were the guys who, they are the guys who are going to be managing this team. And I know they talked about the pitching rotation before the tournament, and they decided that we'd give Lakeville Matt Grill. So here we are. I think part of that logic was that we, meaning the Mammoth, know that Matt Grill can beat Lakeville. Doesn't mean we're going to beat Lakeville with Matt Grill on the mound. We've done it in the past. So ground ball, Mike Dahl short, throw in the dirt.
Is this place 7 or 9?
9 innings, Jeff. It's a time limit as well, but I don't think that's going to come into play.
Go, boys.
Ground ball to short. Mike Dahl threw it to first, short hop. Brian ran. First base, couldn't scoop it out. Man on first, nobody out. 1-0.
Good.
Top of the bottom of the 5th, I believe. Lakeville up 1-0. This is Joe Witt. Joe Witt had a home run off of Matt Grill in a game between these two teams. I think it was 2 years ago now. To win the game. We were out at Lakeville's place. The score was 1-1, I think. Might have been 2-1. I don't remember, but I remember it was the last inning. Joe Witt hit a home run over the right field fence, walk off. So it's someone Matt's got to be careful with. We got a guy in first base. Nobody out. Ooh. That was a throw over to first base. Brian went off Brian's glove, our first baseman, and then kind of flipped off the top of the helmet of the first baseman.
I love that helmet rule. There you go. There it is.
The first time in my 12 years down here that I've seen that helmet rule actually come into play. Coaches are required to wear helmets. And we're always asking, why do we have to wear helmets? Well, there you see why. He just got hit on the top of the head, the errant throw. I'm not behind home plate, so I can't really see how these pitches are working. It's a pitch down. He struck Joe out his first at bat, got him the second at bat. So obviously we're very familiar with this Lakeville team as they are with us. We're in a 5-team tournament this year. So because we moved up from the Cactus to the Mountain and moved up in talent, there's just fewer teams to fill this division. So we're down to 5. Top 4 make the playoffs. Which is to say we just have to avoid being the worst team when we make the playoffs. It's another pitch off the plate. That must be his slider. Number 2 swung through it. Not sure who number 2 is. So we just have to be one of the top 4 teams to make the playoffs. Nice pitch. Off the plate, then up and in. Really can do anything he wants here. Let's see what he does. Flip is setting up off. Yep. Something hard down and away. Batter release off 1 and 2. Again, this umpire apparently appears to have a pretty wide zone. He's rung some guys up on pitches off the plate, so let's see if Matt goes after that. He did. Batter fought it off. See Matt Meyer's move behind the dugout. You always know where Matt Meyer is. You always have one eye on Matt Meyer. Where's Matt Meyer? He arrived after the game started, so he might have been on the same flight as Nate Jackson. Probably gave each other the side eye. Really up 2 strikes. Nice pitch. Here is James Andre. I didn't know the Andres were coming down. Some of you who are familiar with the team that preceded the Mammoth, the Lumberjacks, know that John and James Andre were fixtures on the Lumberjack tournament teams for a number of years. There's a shot to left. That's gonna be caught by Diamond Dan Casaza. Really good wood by James. That's what James does well. James hits those line drives. He's a little bit like Casey Johnson. They have similar launch angle. When they hit the ball well, they hit those gap line drives. They don't hit these deep fly balls. They hit shots that get in the gap and they scurry around the bases.
Let's go.
Nice catch out there, Dano.
That was fun. I had a feeling that guy was going to do it. Took a couple steps up and then he hit it.
That's James Andre. Yeah.
Does he do that, or is
Yes,
John
yes.
the bigger?
No, I was just describing. I said he's very much like you. He's got the same launch angle.
good.
Yeah. When he squares it up, he hits these line drives to the gap.
Yeah.
That's what when he's on. That's what he does.
Let's get
He
on
did
it
that
now.
really well.
Let's go.
Attaboy, Gurley.
Both have great personalities, wild charisma. So,
The others are kind of quiet, but I mean we like quiet people. You and I are quiet.
quiet. Yep.
Yeah. So what are we thinking? It's 1-0. Give us we missed most of the first part of the game because the
Okay.
cameraman's a imbecile.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Well, you don't have
watch
to
your
do with
language
that.
because I think my kids might be on here.
Yeah, I stopped swearing after I got the camera working. So I'm good now.
The frustrations were gone.
Oh my God. Anyway, what do you think?
So this is my first time seeing Dave Meyer, and I mean he's mixing pitches. I want to say nice things, but I also think he's hittable. So we gotta find a way to get going. You know, when we've had runners on in each inning here now. Last couple innings, we just need that hit. Last 3 innings, we've had a runner on. So I mean, we just need to break out a little bit. And you know, that's the interesting thing about these tournaments where you haven't played in 6 weeks and you want to break out when you're not used to it. So I'm just really trying to have a real short swing right to the ball and get rid of all the nonsense. Let's see what Bushy can do.
What did you do your last at bat? I wasn't.
I kind of got jammed. I popped up in second.
You squared up that first one, though, right?
1 or 2-0. Yeah. It
Brian
kinda
Bushman?
it really traveled. You know, so I'd love to get
As
into
it does
something.
down here, right? Bushy has one of our maybe 2 hits, right?
We've got a little bit of breeze coming in from Ray.
A baby's breath. From
Yeah.
right field. Bushy. You're not going to throw Bushy out, or are you going to throw Bushy out? Attaboy, Bushy! Bushy got the surprise start, and he's 2 for 2.
Let's go, Pat. Get your swing on, babe.
How great is it that Brian Bushy is 2 for 2?
Yeah.
Or he wasn't even expecting to play.
Yeah. Well, he's a guy who's played high caliber baseball before, so it's like he shouldn't be. And I know he doesn't get a ton of at bats, but the at bats he gets, he's used to.
He's used to this pitching.
Right. I mean, there's a different degree of pitching from 35 plus Federal League where you're getting from 50% of the teams. Dig!
Two.
Yeah, there's just nothing I can do about that.
6 unassisted.
So they've got 2
Double play. Yeah, that's 2 double plays. That was a chopper by Pat Ralston up the middle. Very easy double play.
High ones. Let's go,
Okay,
man.
here's another new addition to our roster for this tournament.
What's his last name? Van
Van
Overbeek.
Overbeek.
A backer.
Matt Van Overbeek. Matt played against us in the playoffs. approached Randy a couple years ago about joining the Mammoth, and you know, we told him what we've had to tell a number of people, which is we just don't have a lot of room. But he was persistent about playing with us, and he approached Randy again after that playoff game, I believe, and talked about joining us in this tournament. So it's great to have him. He actually had a home run off of Nick Tuckner in that playoff game, so we know he's got power. On 2 strikes. Good take.
Good eye. Hey, you've seen his pitches now.
He was also down here last week. He played with a 40-plus group that came down, the TCMABL group. Good pitch. Actually, I think that was a federal league.
All right, let's go, guys. Let's shut him down here.
But he was part of that team that made it to the championship game, so he should come in wheels up, man. I mean, he shouldn't need a lot of runway to get up to speed. He struck out there, but that was a good third pitch. Top of 6, Paul? Bottom of 6.
Bottom of 6.
Bottom of 6, Mammoth down 1-0. Louis coming over.
Who's number 1? He's not listed on.
Number 1. Okay, yes. He arrived late, so he is Matt Overby. He just battled, right?
Yeah.
I should have come over and told him.
Well, it's okay.
Yeah. I didn't know what uniform he was going to wear because he didn't have one, so yeah. Right.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. That was Louis. Federal League fans know who Louis is. Oh, here we got John Andre coming over. John, what's up? Great seeing you guys, man. James got into that one, huh?
That was fun.
Oh, this is James Andre.
Yeah. Are you live?
Yes, we're live.
How many beers?
Well, I had some serious problems getting this thing rolling, so
Slow start.
oh yeah, it was tough. Yeah, you charged that one to left, right? I was saying, like, when you hit the ball, that's what you do. You hit those line, that trajectory to left field, that's what you do.
Yeah. It was a good pitch.
Yeah. So that was James, not John Andre. Identical twins. When you first meet the Andres, suffice it to say, it takes a while to tell them apart, but I've gotten to the point now where I can tell them apart. And, I mean, they look identical, but they don't have identical personalities. So once you get to know them, they're very different people. At least I feel like they are. Good fastball. Oh, this is Mike Shaner. I haven't had a chance to talk too much about some of these hitters on Lakeville. Unlike most of these streams, I'm actually familiar with a lot of these guys. Mike Shaner's a longtime TCMABL player. Lakeville picked him up at the start of the year. Really froze him with a fastball in the other half. One out. Here's number 8. I don't know number 8. Oh, sorry, Lee. Yep.
I got another question.
Shoot.
We just had a guy show up.
Uh-huh.
Matt.
Uh-huh.
Can we put him in?
100%. Yeah, is that Matt Myers? Yeah. For sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
We weren't expecting him. Not until tomorrow.
No, you're good.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So it sounds like Matt Meyer is an unexpected arrival. Louis asked me if they could add him to the bottom of the order. Now, I think technically we could say no. And if there was ever a player, maybe that we've ever played against, that you would say no to or know about, it would be Matt Meyer, but we're not going to say no. That's not the sporting thing to do. Nice pitch off the plate for strike 3. Normally I like to talk about the pitch sequences, but again, I'm not behind home plate. I'm wearing a Mammoth jersey, so sometimes umpires don't like it when you're set up behind home plate because they think you're a player trying to, you know, pick up the movement on the pitches so that when you bat, you have an advantage. So I gotta stand back here. But I think later on in this tournament, especially games that I'm confident I won't be playing in, I'll just take my jersey, my top off. I mean, I'm not gonna go shirtless. I'll take my jersey off. How you doing, John? Good to see you. Nice play at shortstop. John Andre, the other to. And there's a fly ball to right field. Brian Bushman, 2 for 2 at the plate, 2 for 2 with the catches. So we're keeping it close, which is what we want to do. I mentioned before that runs against matter a lot. 5 teams in this tournament. It's a pretty good chance that the 4th and 15 are going to have similar records, if not the same record. And in that event, it's almost, it could come down to head-to-head play, but it also could come down to the tie break once the head-to-head is out of play, and that tie break is runs against. So you want to win this game, and then the second best outcome is a 1-0 loss, I would say.
It's actually a pretty fun game. It's
Very quick.
Yeah, obviously if we could get something going on offense, it would be a lot of fun.
Bushy, what a game you're having.
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes you get lucky.
I do know.
What does that say about blind squirrels and acorns?
You squared up 2 baseballs, and you made plays in the outfield.
Man, you're my ultimate hype man, Tom. Christina, if you're on, thank you for the Del Taco gift card.
Brian Bushman.
Say hi to the turtles.
Whenever Bushy talks about his turtles, I think of Rocky Balboa. Rocky had turtles, Cuff and Link. I think they were the turtles.
Cuff and Link?
I think that was the name of Rocky's turtles. Or is that the name of Bushy's turtles?
No.
I think it was Rocky's
It's
turtles.
a deep dive if you hold that. And I consider myself somewhat of a Rocky aficionado.
I regard Rocky as maybe one of my top 3 movies of all time. I mean, I think that movie was...
Well, as a series, it's wonderful too.
Well, I mean, in terms of, like, the quality of the filmmaking...
Are you talking Rocky 1?
I'm
when
talking
you
the
say
first
that?
Rocky.
Okay.
I mean, that won an Academy Award. That
Yeah.
was... You know, it spawned a whole new genre of film, right? Like the underdog...
Let's go down.
Oh,
Come on. Hey, you get 3 of them.
Hello. Let's go.
Dolly muttered an imprecation as he walked away from the batter's box after that pitch. You don't see Dolly do that very often. Not happy with that call. Dolly stayed down on that curve, down and away, fly ball to center field.
I feel like we got to get away from that a little bit. We've relied a little bit heavily on the, that wasn't a strike type of situation, and some days you're just going to have that.
Yep.
So, you know, you get 3 of them. So, you know, we all realize right now that maybe the zone's a little bigger. So, you know, the guy hasn't been wildly erratic. So, in that sense, you can jump on something early.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe you don't work a count as much.
Would you say, I mean, in terms of his, I mean, to me it looks like he's got a really good fastball and he's got grill level control, right?
Well, so I haven't seen the fastball yet.
That was it right there. That was
Yeah, no, I've seen it on other people. Personally, I haven't seen it, but it does have a lot of juice to it. So, you know, I think it's nice that he can go to. It's nice that he can go to that. And we've seen him go to that. I've mentioned this already, but with 2 strikes, ramp it up. So, you know, one thing the catcher kind of raises his glove if he's got an 0-2 and wants to throw that fastball. So the bench over here just kind of needs to say, watch the eyes, or, you know, some sort of indication of what pitch is coming.
I hope I don't lose juice on this. It's been relatively smooth sailing here, but I'm not sure I'm charging up. Anyway, this is bottom of 6. Top of 6. Hey Pat, top of 6, top of 7. 1-0. Top of 7, 1-0. 1 out, nobody on. Leadoff hitter Diamond Dan Casazzo at the plate. That ball got in on him a little bit. Yeah, this pitch is very good. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, this is a very, very quick game. Anytime you get Diamond Dan out, it's a big out. Especially in a 1-run game, because Diamond gets on base at the end of a second. So at this point, he may not get up again. That was a big out for Lakeville. Mike Lippert. It also looks like our cavalry is not going to get here on time. We've got 2 guys on a plane really help us offensively, but the pace of this game suggests that we won't be able to get them in the lineup before this game's over. Here's Mike Lippert, the tournament MVP last year. Mike had just a sensational tournament at the plate, caught most of the Mammoth games. This year we've got Pat Hanlon to do some catching. Unfortunately, Pat caught COVID, came down here early, caught it on, there's a good fastball. He just reared back, 2 strikes, just slung that pitch in there. Off the plate, Lip fought it off. I believe the count is 0-2. So he comes back with here, shaking him off. Another fastball, so it must be kind of change it lately. So Lip was a tournament MVP last year. Last year, this team won the Cactus Division, the Mammoth. They bumped us up to the Mountain Division. And our first game is against a team we play multiple times in the summer, so. On the one hand, I think we'd rather not play Lakeville down here, not because we don't like Lakeville, but just because it's fun seeing other teams. On the other hand, if we're going to play them, I think I would personally prefer to play them game 1 rather than know that they're out there on our schedule. On the other hand, and now I'm up to 3 hands, but on the other hand, because it's game 1, it means you've got, Matt Meyer presumably hasn't pitched. Well, certainly hasn't pitched since game 1, but presumably he will pitch at some point. So, when you got Lakeville on your schedule, game 1, and Meyer's on the other side, you're probably going to see Matt Meyer at some point. But if I'm Torrey, I just ride Dave, man. There's no reason to bring Matt Meyer in. We've got Dave Meyer doing what he's doing. He's just putting up goose eggs. We really haven't done much at all against him. God, that's a good fastball.
Watch it, fans. Watch it over there. Right side.
Out of play.
Oh, just keep on your phone.
Lips put up some really good defensive swings against that pitch, that fastball. He's elevating the fastball off the plate. And Lip is doing a good job fighting it off, but it's not a swing that's going to put it into play, I don't think. And if he does put it into play, it's going to be something to the right side. I think if I'm this pitcher, I just come hot. I come hot up and in rather than up and away. Lips looking away. Ooh, he came with a curveball. Lips smoked it to left center. Left fielder runs, makes a catch, 3 outs. It's not the pitch I would go with there.
You guys, need somebody to warm up for the catcher. Pick up grill. Catch your last out. Can you get somebody to warm up today?
Lip did a nice job staying in on that pitch. I suppose what the pitcher is thinking, the pitcher is probably thinking, because he's thrown those fastballs and Lip has been late, that Lip is going to be thinking, I got to be quick, which may encourage Lip or cause Lip to rip off with his top half, and then you throw that slider off the plate at strike 3. But he was also hitting him with fast stuff off the plate, so Lip is looking out there, so he's going to be less inclined to rip open early. That's why I would have come in high and in with a fastball. Catch Lip leaning, just saw him off with the hands. But Matt Meyer is one of the best pitchers in the Federal League, and I'm a washed up center fielder, so we'll defer to Matt's judgment there, and it worked out. Score is 1-0 Lakeville. We go into the bottom of the 7th inning. It's like James Andre. James flew out to left center. Was that John Andre? That's John Andre. So if you're just joining us, this is game 1 of our 6-game round robin. 6-game round robin portion of the tournament. We've got another game later on this afternoon. I think it's 3 or 4 o'clock our time, Arizona time. Lakeville. Good luck, John. Not too much luck, but modest luck.
Can we confirm this John?
Yeah. No, I can't tell from this distance, but that's definitely John. So we got a break. After this game, Lakeville plays our 4 o'clock opponent next. So we're playing Lakeville. Lakeville plays the team we're going to play at 4 o'clock, and then we play that team at 4 o'clock. So I think the plan for a lot of us is just to kind of stick around, kind of scout our upcoming opponent. And I mentioned earlier, maybe we'll stream it. I mean, I could talk to Casey the whole game. That'd be kind of fun. I got to run up to the tournament headquarters between games, but I think I'd be back in time for the game. Again, I don't know how many people would be interested in watching Lakeville with some other team, but maybe we'll do that. I mean, I know Cork would, but Cork is strange. I've had to mind my P's and Q's a little bit with some of this commentary. I haven't been able to have as much fun as I sometimes like to have, just because, you know, I know a lot of the guys on the other team, and you know, they're not watching it now, but there's a chance that they watch it later, so I don't want to say anything that's going to piss anybody off. Not that I'd be inclined to want to do that, because I like everybody in Lakeville. I played with a lot of them. But when I'm talking about a team that I'm never going to see again, I can have fun with some of the observations, and I don't necessarily want to do that with Lakeville. So we may open up, we may relax the commentary a little bit as the tournament goes on. We'll see. 2 strikes. John Andre pitched in the dirt. That's a ball. John Andre is a jackrabbit. James Andre hits a lot of balls in the air. John hits a lot of balls on the ground. That's been my experience. He hits a ball up the middle well. A lot of ground balls, line drives up the middle. It's a fly ball. It's short. Billy's come in. It's a long way to go. Makes a catch. Nice running catch by Bill Hausman out in center field. Bill, I think, is 45 now, but he stays in fighting trim. You doing, Tori? Anytime we play Lakeville, the games are like this. They're always close. They're always well played. They're always good games. There's a nice line drive. I don't know who number 33 is, but it's a nice piece of hitting. Live drive to left center. Scores 1-0, Lakeville. The bottom of the 7th. 1 out, man on first. Lakeville run came off of a Jamie Steinberg double, and then they moved him around the bases with some infield contact. I think that's how that went down. Shows bunt, called strike. Steinberg on deck. I mentioned before that I believe Jamie Steinberg has hit Mackerel pretty well, so to keep that guy at first base. It's been a low wear couple of innings for Matt Grill. He hasn't labored out there, which is nice, because obviously we'd like to use him again in this tournament. I would say it's fair to say that we're a little thin at pitching this year. When you look at our roster, I mean, we got Matt Grill as our bell cow starter. We've got Nate Stark, another bell cow, and then I think we've got Brian Durand. He's playing first base. Now I know he does a fair amount of pitching on his teams. I just don't know that much about him as a pitcher. We got Matt. I don't know his last name. Pop up. Let's see if we can get this on play. This on camera. Nice catch. Lip usually converts those. So we got Matt Vander Overbeek. I got to figure out his last name. He does some pitching. But you know, we got Mike Dahl, who I think probably would regard himself as a position player who pitches rather than a pitcher who's a position player. I could be wrong about that. I mean, Mike Dahl did a lot of pitching for the Cardinals, but and then after him, you know, we got guys like Bill Hausman, Casey Johnson. Definitely position players who, you know, can fill up some innings, but they're not playoff starters. Lakeville's got probably 3 playoff starters, maybe more. So keeping Mac Grill undergoing,